What is up, guys? Welcome back to Futbol Asada. Before we get started, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Hit the post notifications so you guys get notified every time we upload a video. And today we're going to be reacting to Rafa Marquez joining Javier Aguirre as his assistant manager, coming from Barca B. Surprising. I am shocked. But what are your instant thoughts, Chris?
I think as far as Mexico, it's a huge W, like major W. Like you're going from Jimmy Lozano and his assistant to arguably Mexico's most accomplished manager in Europe ever, Javier Aguirre, and one of the Mexico's greatest players ever, if not the greatest player ever, Rafa Marquez. Just from a respect factor, I think the players will respect obviously El Vasco and Rafa more for what they've accomplished as players and as coaches. So I think it's a major W. I think they're just obviously Rafa Marquez coming from the Barca system. El Vasco Aguirre, all the experience in Europe. I think it's a major upgrade. So I think in the short term, for like this 2026 cycle and the 2030 cycle, it's undoubtedly a big W for Mexico. As far as Rafa Marquez, as far as his personal career, I don't want to say it's an L, but he's taking a huge risk because there was rumors from Gibran Araihe, one of the insiders for La Selección, broke the news that Monaco and FC Porto had him on their shortlist to be their next manager, and Barca as well was linked to him all the time, like the first team. And I feel like if he would have stayed, he would have definitely got some more experience, maybe been a pioneer for more coaches to go abroad. And he's taking a big risk because La Selección is not really known for like keeping promises and going through cycles for this long, longer than like 2 to 4 years. But hopefully it works out for him. If it does, it's gonna be a big W for Mexico, and that's what I'm thinking so far.
I was very shocked because the negotiations were only like, it was so fast. It only lasted like a day. Man, it leaked that Mexico was looking to convince Rafa Marquez to take over the assistant job role. And I think that night it was confirmed that he was going to tell Barca, all right, I'm out, which was crazy. But like you said, for him, personally, I think it is a questionable move. He's in Europe. I still think he should have stayed for more experience. But for us, it doesn't get better than this. It really doesn't. I mean, it was only inevitable that he was going to become Selección manager one day, but I didn't expect it to come this fast. By 2030, just the next World Cup after the next one, he's going to be the main manager already. And who knows? What if something happens within these next 2 years that he takes over as the main one for 2026? Anything could happen. So, yeah, I'm very happy. I think Mexico are taking a big step with this. It's a huge leap compared to Jimmy Lozano and his crew, his assistant manager. So the only thing now is for them to select the right players, for players to get more moves to Europe within 2 years. So by 2026, we don't have another fracaso.
Yeah, this is kind of what I like about Rafa Marquez coming in, is I feel like it's going to be the perfect mix of experience and youth. I know a lot of people were worried that El Vasco Aguirre was only going to call up old players, but then I think with Rafa Marquez being there, since he was with Barca B for 2 years, only working with young talent, competing in the Spanish third division against like real professionals, like older men as well. I think he knows how to trust the youth. So I think this is going to be a perfect balance, bro. I think we're going to see a lot of new faces on the Mexican national team, and that's kind of like one of the main reasons I was so for this coaching change was that Jimmy Lozano, Tata Martino, Diego Coca, like all the previous managers stuck to their same system, same guys. I think we're finally going to see fresh faces moving forward.
Something else with Rafa, since he has that connection with Barca, I feel like if he's really impressed by a player, he could probably like recommend him and maybe get a trial at Barca B. That's something I just thought of right now. Now that we have a new coaching change, what do you think is the most realistic and ideal starting 11 for Mexico?
I think for the players that we have, I think we're better defensively than we are in the attack right now. So I think getting more defenders, to be honest, on the field might be more ideal. Being a little more defensive, at least initially. So I would go for a three center back formation, 3-4-3 or whatever you want to call it, or a five back, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, my goalie would be Malagon, either Malagon or Tapia. I know Tapia is one of the best young goalies, one of the best goalies in Liga MX. Just recently transferred to Tigres. But as of right now, I would say Malagon. And then the right wing back, give me Julian Araujo. The three center backs, Cesar Montes on the right, Edson Alvarez in the middle, Johan Vasquez on the left. That's pretty self-explanatory. Gerardo Arteaga as a left wing back. And the two center mids for right now, I would probably go with Luis Chavez and Marcel Ruiz from Toluca. Marcel Ruiz has been one of the better midfielders in Liga MX for a bit now. He's only 23 years old. He should have been in the mix with the Mexican national team for years already, but I think this will finally be his chance to shine. And then my attacking trio, give me Santi Jimenez. I'll go with Chino Huerta and Marcelo Flores on the wings. I think two very creative wingers, something we're not used to seeing. I know recently our wingers have just been the ones that just are basically pace merchants, like Chucky, Antuna. Quinones doesn't really have any skill moves. He's better more centrally. But I think more like creative, like better dribblers on the wings might suit us better. That's what I'd go with, like ideally as my formation.
I completely agree with that lineup. The only like 50-50s I guess I could see is the right wing back position. Yes, Julian Araujo at this moment is at Barcelona, but I think Huescas in that right wing back spot is very class. And that's his ideal position. Like he has a lot of doubts for like a back four being a right back, his defensive abilities, but him on the right wing back spot, he's up and down the entire game. So I wouldn't be upset Huescas starts over Araujo. And just today, as we're recording this, Huescas got an assist on his Copenhagen debut, so it's good to see. Another position, the goalies. We shouldn't be seeing the majority of the goalies that were at the Copa America this time around. Maybe Talan Rangel, and that's because he's 24 years old. But Acevedo, Julio Gonzalez, those guys were just there because. Like, Julio Gonzalez is not a goalie I believe in. Yes, he only conceded one goal, but he looked shaky the whole tournament. And he's already like 32 years old, so he's gone. So it should be Talan Rangel, maybe. For sure, Malagon. Or Tapia from Tigres. I've always liked him. And Padilla, who's now starting at Bilbao, it could be a shout. Another position I'm very doubtful on is the midfielder role because we don't have that much talent in the midfield. Yes, Marcel Ruiz, 23 years old. That's the guy I've been wanting in the team, but he hasn't been given the opportunity, and he's still playing in Toluca. He was supposed to go to Europe, but he hasn't. Luis Chavez have been starting in that position just by default because we don't have midfield talent. But besides that, I think that would be the ideal lineup. I think Vasco Aguirre is very knowledgeable when it comes to a wing-back formation. He's used it a lot with his La Liga teams. And Rafa Marquez will help out Edson Alvarez a lot in that middle center-back role, that progressive center-back / CDM that he played in the 2014 World Cup. So hopefully this formation works out and becomes realistic.
What I also like about like this formation is like I said, it would have like a good mix of youth and experience. Like if you bring in Marcelo Flores, you bring in Marcel Ruiz, you bring in Chino Huerta, you add Julian Araujo or Rodrigo Huescas, that's already adding young players into the mix. Even the subs have to change too, bro. Like the subs in the Copa America were the same guys over and over and over again. It was like there was still Charlie Rodriguez, still Antuna. Guys that just were not changing the game. They would come in and it would make no difference, honestly, like into the game. We need to emphasize like creativity. Like if we play a defensive formation with five at the back, the guys who come into the game need to like boost the attack, not the defense. They need to boost the attack. And I think we need like creative players. Like I wouldn't mind bringing back a Chucky Lozano as like a super sub in the second half. Like he's a good finisher. He'll probably be in decent form, like especially going into 2025 or in 2025 when he's at San Diego. He should be destroying MLS. I wouldn't mind him as a super sub. I wouldn't mind Quinones even as a super sub. Playing him more centrally instead of out wide, because out wide he did absolutely nothing in the Copa America. But for me, I hope that Rafa and Vasco, I hope the duo comes in and just makes major changes to the roster, or major changes to the lineup, because Mexico needs it. Like I said, we've already said this so many times. That roster, but from the past, those lineups from the past, they have already proven they're getting destroyed in the Nations League by the U.S. over and over. They're grouped at the World Cup and now grouped at the Copa America. Like that's their ceiling. They cannot do no more. Like you need to move on to the next set of players, the next generation.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I think that was it, guys. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and hit the post notifications to be notified every time we upload. And let us know in the comments what other videos you guys want to see, because I think now is the end of Selección content when it comes to the summer. We're now reaching Leagues Cup, Liga MX. So yeah, let us know in the comments. We read everything. And stay tuned for next week's video. Peace.